following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Media Mash, a roundtable of Cowboys insiders dropping wisdom and offering sizzling takes on the current state of your Dallas Cowboys. Now, your host, Steve Dennis.
Media Mash. How do we like the name of that? Episode number 2. My name is Steve Dennis. I am not the host. I'm going to say it again. We're all the host. We're going to have a foursome in here every Wednesday, every Thursday from 4 to 5. And we're all going to be co-hosts and just mash it up. The top Cowboys discussions. Happy Wednesday. Week 1 already behind us. Looking forward to week 2. So let's get to it. Let's let them introduce, because, again, they are co-hosts. The foursome in the room. State your name, your affiliation, and what the heck, your favorite holiday.
Oh, John Machota from The Athletic. Favorite holiday? I don't think I have a favorite holiday. Covering a football team really ruins all the holidays. You don't have any anymore.
Is Thanksgiving a holiday?
Sure.
It is.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will say I like Thanksgiving because there's always football on.
We call him John Master Shoulder, okay? I just want to let you know.
Nobody calls me that other than you.
We call him Master Shoulder, okay? No one calls him that but me. And Calvin. Calvin made that name because he couldn't pronounce his name. He can't pronounce many names. But anyway, this is Clarence Hill, the Fort Worth Star-Telegram.
Yeah, baby.
I'm the jinx. The Cowboys have 4 playoff wins since I started covering this team back in 1996.
God, it's always got to be about you.
It is. It's about I'm the jinx. It's my fault.
I started a year after Clarence, and I had to get off the train because I couldn't help him. Favorite holiday? Play by the rules, chill.
Favorite holiday? Christmas is always there's a pony somewhere.
Is the
there's
right
a pony
answer,
in there
Rob.
somewhere, as Jerry Jones likes to say. There's a pony in there somewhere.
Especially if you have kids. See,
yes,
Yeah.
Christmas.
we got to get Machota on board in that program.
Thanksgiving
Christmas.
doesn't
Michelle's
count.
good.
Halloween doesn't count.
That's not a
Got a
holiday.
game on Halloween. Some kids think it's a holiday.
No, it's not.
Rob Phillips, DallasCowboys.com. I sat here at 9 o'clock.
School is not out on Halloween.
Yeah.
The Fed government's not off on Halloween. It's not a holiday.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We're gonna get into a little trouble today because Chill is on the scene. He is
By
on
the
the
way,
scene.
July 4th is the best holiday, guys.
And
just
that's
letting you know.
That's Chris Beam, our producer. I
Well,
call him Rookie.
I would say Juneteenth, but that's a whole other story.
My daughter was born on Juneteenth.
Fair
so
enough.
it's a good holiday.
We weren't free on July 4th. Uh-oh, boom, boom, boom.
I think it would be a great. I think it would be
That's a whole nother podcast.
what the hell? Let's do it for now. Who's in? Hey, Rob Phillips wrote today, we're going to get to this, that it was Dak Prescott's best game ever. So let's push that over here. We'll get to that in a minute. And Machota may have just said the same thing.
I've heard other people say that.
I'm not sure. But I want to start with this, and we can go as long on it as you want. I find it very odd, and I wonder, is it okay? Is it okay for many members of the huge Cowboys nation to be either slightly optimistic, maybe even excited, maybe even pumped on their prospective season in terms of success when they lost the opener? Is that allowed? Can you be that way if you lose the opener and everything smells like roses?
Can I start?
Yes.
I'm going to be the slap rock. I'm always the negative guy. Everybody, you're always hating on the Cowboys.
You're battle tested, according to your Twitter
I've
page.
seen nothing but frustration.
Grumpy is a better word.
98.
Old and grumpy.
But I think that's just it's. Let's put it out there. Dak had a great game, okay? And I think a lot of people's excitement about his great game had to do with our expectations. He hadn't played since last year. He had the shoulder. No one thought that was possible. You know, they were just happy he could throw the ball. And then he has an amazing game and matches him throw for throw. But it's kind of par for the course for the Cowboys franchise over the last 20 years that we get excited about stats. And in essence, empty stats because they've won nothing. And great game, it was a loss. And we go by, I think that we've, from the Tony Romos to we celebrate stars and we celebrate individual achievements around here because there's been not a lot of team success to celebrate. And that goes back to, Witten, Romo, Dez, everything. It just, we made them larger stars than maybe the results have shown.
All right, that is one vote for just win, baby.
I'm going optimistic. You should be optimistic off of this game, and it's because the biggest thing for me is just the quarterback position. It's the most important position in the sport. It's not even close. It's the guy that's still going to be here a decade from now. When you have a franchise quarterback, you're in every game. It doesn't matter who you're playing against, and it's so hard to find this guy. There's just how many people are on the planet, and there's maybe 16 good quarterbacks on the planet, and that might not even be that many. And if you're a Cowboys fan, you have one of them on your team, and you have him locked up. And even if you were, let's say, a Dak hater or negative about Dak, whatever it is, you cannot watch that game and not sit there and go, damn, okay, maybe I was a little wrong about that guy. Like, you know what? Maybe he is a little bit better than I thought. And then the people that already were on board, they're like, I told you that that's who he was. I told you that this is the guy. I told you that they needed to pay him that much. That, to me, is the most important thing. I don't care if you come out of that game and, let's say, Gregory had 2 sacks and Lawrence had 3 and there was a couple interceptions and whatever. Let's say it was the best game you've seen out of the defense out of a decade. That is not as important as having your quarterback do that on top of the injuries he was coming off of. That gives you as much hope as anything. And so, yeah, it's week 1. It's a meaningless, it's a loss, and people are going to talk about moral victory. But because of the way Dak played, I think you should be very optimistic about this team.
Remember we had the Romo elite discussion for years and years. Is Tony Romo elite? And it just became like, is Pete Rose, should he be in the Hall of Fame kind of thing? It just got tired.
You're trying to get me in trouble.
Yeah, we're going to go down that route. But Dak, to me, he's, to John's point, he's an elite quarterback. He's a guy that, because I define it as any given week, do you feel like you can win a game because he's your quarterback? And I think he's in that category. I'm kind of with both guys. Like, I think you should be optimistic based on the way Dak played, based on the way the offense played. Even the defense did some good things that made you feel better about it compared to last season. But there are no moral victories. I agree with Clarence in that regard. You should feel disappointed. I mean, geez, you had the lead in the last.
Make a field goal.
Yeah.
Make an extra point.
Make an extra point. You missed, last minute and a half, and you felt like you should have won that football game. And now on top of it,
make a block in the goal line so you run back and have a walk-in touchdown.
Yes, and then now on top of it, now you've got some injuries to worry about.
See, normally I would be 100% with Chill on this.
And let me say, I'm not negative.
No, I understand.
I think that I wrote there's a lot of things to be optimistic about.
The overall,
Dak is
we're
number
talking
one.
about the overall.
Yes,
feeling,
I think Dak's play was great, and you should be excited about what you saw from Dak Prescott.
All right, but here's what I'm going to say. I don't believe in moral victories, but I think the circumstances were such for this opener that it's a little different. I would call it a vision victory. Our eyeballs can't lie to us, especially after what our eyeballs saw him go through last year. I mean, there was a lot of things on the field beside Dak. I mean, 159 yards rushing per game last year against them. They give up 52. Now, they didn't commit to the run either, but Brady did make an effort late in that game to try to run it, and he couldn't. Yeah. And that is, our eyeballs saw that. That's different. The 9 unanswered points because of 2 quick turnovers. Mm-hmm. Boom, DeMarcus knocks it out. Touchdown in 5 plays. And this is after Zerline misses a chippy from 31 yards. Normally, the team would go, no. 2 turnovers, 9 points. We didn't see a lot of that last year either, late in some games. But, and I love back to Dak, and we're going to get to your point that it may be his best game ever. Clarence will love this. It's our second show of Media Mash, and I already have to admit that I was wrong in show 1 last week. I said that Dak would not be able to play to his elite level in this game. Hadn't played in 11 months. It's Tampa Bay. I thought he would struggle a little. He never did. He was tough. He wasn't afraid of motion. He was fearless. He was at the top of his game, and that is remarkable. That second possession where they go 7 for 7, 75 yards, all passes. Boom, 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 boom. If they can score that quick without Zeke and just hitting 8, 11, 12, and then 22 for CD for the touchdown, that's a dangerous team. And then the last drive, they got the ball at the 10. There's 4:52 to go. All kinds of crap happened on that drive. A holding by Tyron made it a 2nd and 20. A holding by Connor made it a 3rd and 16. Dak didn't care. He had to get the lead there. and he did.
Yeah, he had,
Now the rest is Brady.
he had to get a touchdown there.
He had to get the lead.
Well, we know the rest was Brady. Because the rest was Brady, let's be honest. And this is not Dak's fault, but a touchdown. I think if the Patriots, the Buccaneers would have needed a touchdown, the Cowboys would have won.
Yeah,
They would have
I'm not
kept
that sure of that.
I think
those last three
one
throws.
timeout
Yeah, but when those
I'm just saying they had a better chance, but knowing he just needed a field goal, you all know, I mean, let's go. It's 1-on-1.
Well, see, I hate statements like that. That's like when Dez caught it and people go,
100%.
Rodgers would have won the game anyway.
No, but that was 4 minutes left. Stop it. That was 4 minutes left. And he would have. That was 4 minutes. What I'm saying is, Dak needed a touchdown.
Well,
you need to make
Tom Brady threw 3 balls at the cheerleaders to run out clock there. He easily could have moved them back into position.
Okay, my point is this. How about this? Since we like about percentages.
He missed the cheerleaders.
Well, my point is you got to make about percentages then. We need to make it tougher. Okay, you got to make it tougher.
It's kind of like
you can't just let him need a field goal to win.
It's like the playoff game here in 2016. They tied the game. It was a great drive by Dak, great comeback to tie the game with under a minute left, but they needed a touchdown because Aaron Rodgers had time with 40 seconds or whatever.
With the Jerry catch. I'm with you. Very similar.
No, it's not similar. No,
it is similar.
No, it's not.
I'm trying to agree with you, actually.
I am, but my point is this. You can't give up a 3rd and 31. I'm sorry. That's not in the playbook. I don't care if it's Aaron Rodgers.
It's not.
I mean, Tom Brady didn't have to convert a 3rd and 31 that if anybody plays defense, keep the guy in front of you, tackle the guy.
I get you.
You can't give up a 3rd and 31.
Remember the defense last year?
Okay.
You
can't give up a 3rd and 31.
This is game number 1.
3rd and 31.
I mean, the defense needs to be serviceable. It doesn't have to be good even.
That's my point. So make him have to drive for a touchdown, and you may have a chance to have a better chance to be serviceable. That's on that last drive.
We're all in agreement.
Because
you get mad at me when I agree with you because you want to argue.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
I'm just glad we get to yell again. I haven't done this in a while.
And if Dak gets a touchdown and they score a touchdown there's less time for Tom Brady to come back and score a touchdown.
Right.
So, yeah, absolutely. And that's what they needed to do.
Yeah, you need a touchdown. That's
because
all I'm saying.
I cannot stand hearing about analytics and playing the odds when you're talking about an Aaron Rodgers, you're talking about Tom Brady. If you're factoring in analytics, I only want to hear the analytics for Aaron Rodgers, for Tom Brady. Don't factor in the stuff that happened with all these other quarterbacks that are on the same level.
Because they're different.
The game plans change for those certain individuals. And when you watch that game, they got the field goal, you're like, well, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do. You got points, whatever. But when you're watching it, you never felt like, oh, Tom's not going to come down here. And to Steve's point, 100%. I was at that game in Green Bay. That's exactly how I felt there. Like, okay, so if Dez does get in, like, what part of you doesn't think like that Aaron Rodgers isn't going right back down the field? He did it to run out the clock. Yeah, like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are another level. You have to have a different game plan when you're talking about those guys.
To quote my good friend Chris Arnold, you never know.
You know.
Well, with those two, you know.
Well, but what I'm saying is, to make you never know, score a touchdown, then we'll really never know. But
I agree.
If they just need a field goal, you know.
But that's But this
Brady's
is where
coming
I
back and get you the field goal
for this opener. It was Brady. They were going to lose. They were going to lose no matter what. You're not going to go in there and win this game, especially with everything, so many questions.
Oh, I can tell you right now how they win that game. Micah Parsons picks off that pass that Brady, when he was falling, threw to Leonard Fournette in the flat, and he runs that back for 6. Cowboys win that game.
You got to have that one,
or make a field goal or two.
Well, there's that too. But that's I hate the stuff that happens like early.
And that's the other thing is if you make those field goals, then you only need a field goal at the end for Brady to have to score a touchdown.
All right, let's get to let's finish this off again. Vision victory for me. My eyeballs are thinking victory. That's all I'm saying. Now, if they do the same thing in L.A. this weekend, then you got to get the win.
See, that's why, like, and I agree. Twice I've agreed with Clarence. It's like you got to go now cross country the other direction, and you're staring 0-2 in the face. Now, this is a more favorable matchup. There's no doubt about it. But that's why you can't look at it as a moral victory in a sense, because the facts are they're 0-1. They've got some injuries now on this team that are concerning, that they've got to figure out on offense, and this is an improved Chargers team.
And defense is D-Laws on the injury report now.
Yes,
without Randy Gregory,
that was one of them. Yeah,
it's like, and you didn't have a good pass rush last week. You didn't get to the quarterback.
Hey, let's not blow over that. What now? DeMarcus is what?
He was limited in practice with a foot injury.
Yeah. There's a possibility he doesn't even play on Sunday.
So your
pass rushers might be Basham and Dorrance Armstrong.
You guys get that story up yet? I'm looking. I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah.
The injury report just
that's
came
why you
out
got beat writers on here. That's why you got beat writers here.
Right here. Foot injury.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Because
happening.
we were supposed to talk to DeMarcus today, and so when he wasn't one of the guys that we talked to, and then I didn't see him on the field when everybody was leaving. Now everybody wasn't out there at that point when we're kind of pressured out
sorry
there.
to ruin your afternoon.
Okay, time out. I got a bone to pick with the guys that were taking attendance. Was he out there at start of practice? Because I did the offense. I didn't do the defense. Todd did
he was.
Yeah.
I want to make sure no one said
limited. He was listed as limited.
But he was out there.
Yeah, I saw him.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
It's because he didn't finish practice.
So he automatically gets limited.
So, I mean, so here you go, a game against this young quarterback who likes to throw the ball deep. You know, that's what I love what McCarthy said. I mean, this guy is great. He had 31 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, something like that last year, and he's not dinking and dunking it. I mean, with all due respect, this wasn't Dak as a rookie where they were being conservative. I mean, with 23-4, which we love, had a great rookie year. But this guy throws it deep.
All right,
he throws the contested catches. You got to get to the quarterback. You won't have you don't have Randy Gregory. Let's put that to bed right now. I don't care what Jerry's saying and keep his fingers crossed.
You never listen to Jerry.
Okay.
Jerry did it again this week.
Yeah,
how many times has he done that on his radio show?
It's unfair to the fans because they get so excited and all the other stuff. Mike McCarthy said these guys test positive. They're out 10 days. We're not counting on it.
Zach Martin was asked today, was there ever a chance you were going to come back and play against the Bucs? He goes, no. I wasn't playing.
See, I mean, that's what's so
he
crazy
couldn't
about
taste
it.
his food, man. Pre-game meal, you got to be able to taste.
Yeah, so they're going to be without Randy Gregory and now possibly without a limited DeMarcus Lawrence against this quarterback. And that's the problem.
We're going to get into all that, but I want to hit this real quick. We've only got a few minutes here. Best Dak game ever, says Rob Phillips, DallasCowboys.com. Go read it. He put his top 5 up, and he has this game as number 1. You said when you first came in here, Machota, that you think it may, with Rob, be his best game ever. Clarence, they both believe that. What do you think?
You know, I love these guys, and I love you. I love everybody. I'm from free love. Okay,
but machine gun fire.
I can't wait to hear what this game is.
It was a loss.
Okay, so what's the game then? Tell me the game where he was
better. One of those damn
then.
Eagles games we threw for 400 yards. You know, and
that's
you remember
not even in my top 5.
That's not your top 5?
No. You want to hear my top 5?
Yeah,
the Green Bay playoff game?
Did they lose it?
They lost it.
I was going to say that
the official took it from
I mean, we can't. That's what kills me about it. We love this. And again, Tony Romo's best game ever. 500 yards.
Denver.
They lost. He threw an interception at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody talks about how great it
Okay,
was.
so he won a bunch of games as a rookie. Like, he clearly was not even close to the player he is now.
No,
True.
I'm not talking about Dak.
True.
I'm talking about Dak, though. I'm saying, so you're saying he didn't win. He won a bunch of games as a rookie.
2 years ago, when he threw for 500 yards against the Eagles last year, he come back against Atlanta.
Not the
Right,
reason
what I'm
they
talking-
lost, though.
Right.
And he hadn't played in a game in 333 days.
I agree. So
To be honest with you, if he doesn't play that way, it's a blowout.
I agree with you.
I agree.
And that we're grading on the curve.
I love this.
We're
Love it.
grading on.
Okay.
See, the fact that you put all these other stuff about the fact that he hadn't played in the game and all these other reasons why it elevates it.
Yeah.
It's not about the game. It's all about the extraneous stuff as well. I'm just talking about what he did on the football field
Okay.
to lead to a win or loss.
So if it
and
had been,
you can't have your best game ever
if
in
it
a
had been
loss.
a bad Philly team where he threw for how many yards? Almost 500.
What was your talk?
The win is what does it for you.
Yes, the win is
the
what
fact
does.
that it was Tampa Bay on the road, they dropped the banner for crying out loud. He hadn't played in 11 months, and he looks different. It's like Tony at the end of his career. He had learned how to be a championship quarterback. It wasn't flash. It was maestro. It was being in control.
This is Steve Dennis. I know he really agrees with this point.
If you go up to bat,
I do agree with him. I do agree with him.
If you go up to bat 5 times and you hit 5 home runs, it's the best game you ever had. I don't care what the final score was. It does not matter. We're talking about the individual. I'm saying I think it's the best game he's ever had.
You cover some guys from the 90s. A lot of guys say the best game they ever played was the 95, 94 loss.
Listen to me. That's called being. I don't want to say, I can't think of that word, but the bottom line is when you won 3 Super Bowls, you can say a loss was your best game because you already got 3 in your pocket, okay?
All right.
You can be, that's being magnanimous.
That's what they say.
They were being magnanimous. I know it, but it's cool. When you got 3 Super Bowls, you can talk about, but that loss, we came back, we showed we can fight. That's cool to say. They got 3 Super Bowl titles in their pocket.
I'm going to imitate Clarence, right? The name of the show is Media Mash. Yeah, this is what we're going to do. I like that. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up next, they're going to go with steel over talent. Who at right tackle? Let's dive into that and mash that up next.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar. And a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Varilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Back to Media Mash.
Media Mash is back. We're going to go ahead and score that first segment 3-1 against Clarence. 3-1, 3-1 against Clarence.
I'm with you. I've been in Dak's corner since 2016.
I mean,
I
feel like we could talk about Dak for a week after that game. Now, and we'll talk about this some now in a minute. Herbert is not Brady, but he's pretty close. I mean, that dude. All right, let's get to this, though, because this is important. I mean, Jerry comes out on the radio and says, yeah, Terrence Steele's going to be our right tackle in Los Angeles. And then today, the coach says, hey, wait a minute. We really haven't figured that out yet.
We're working combinations.
Which is so typical. Jerry would do that on a Monday so often, or Tuesday, whatever day that show is. Over the years, he would just go, oh, yeah, he's definitely going to play. And then on Friday, well, he's not going to. I mean, it's just funny.
How about this? We'll Wade say, whatever Jerry says.
Wade would do that.
Whatever Jerry says.
Don't pick on Wade.
I love Wade. Whatever Jerry says, Jerry says.
All right, so here, let's go around real quick.
By the way, real quick, did you see Wade put a tweet out about bad defenses in week 1?
Oh, did he?
He goes, I noticed a lot of bad defenses. He's raising his hand.
Oh, he wants a job. Whatever way. But my point is, I guess my point is, Mike McCarthy was not happy about it. He didn't say it, but the way he answered the question today, he was not happy about Jerry announcing his game plan.
Yeah, I love it. Go ahead, Machota.
Yeah, let's go around real quick. Now that we got both sides now. There's an argument for both sides. Who's going to be starting right tackle? Because it's going to be Terrence Steele.
Oh, we know it's going to be Terrence Steele. That don't mean it was Jerry's should be announcing it on Tuesday.
Terrence Steele.
I don't care if Jerry announces.
I don't either. Like, what are you, a coach for the team? We cover the team. This is good stuff.
Okay.
Love it.
As a reporter,
absolutely.
I wrote it. I was tweeting about it. I get it. I'm saying
it's content.
Yes, I love the content. I'm talking about from Mike McCarthy's standpoint. Like we talked to who did we talk to?
I don't know. Who did you talk to today? I don't think you talked to anybody.
No, we talked to the offense coordinator on Monday. He wouldn't announce it.
Well, that's not his
style.
Yeah,
he said it's Monday. We've got all week.
Yeah, Kellen Moore wouldn't announce it.
Clarence, did you fall asleep again and wake yourself up?
No, I was saying Kellen Moore didn't announce it. Mike McCarthy clearly does not want it announced.
That's not his style either.
And Jerry announces it. I'm just saying that Mike McCarthy didn't want it announced. Well, yes, it's great news for us. I'm just saying that that's not – I mean, clearly he knew what he was walking into when he took the job and took Jerry's money. I'm sure you heard about what Jerry does, but it's still – you can still be taken aback when it happens. And I'm sure he was – I think he was taken back by the fact that Jerry's announcing his roster.
I'm over here keeping score. It's another point against Clarence because he just made McCarthy a member of the Beatles accidentally.
It's a team team owner.
McCartney.
Let me throw this out. Let me do this.
That's the guy on Twitter.
All three of you see every single thing that happens with this team. I no longer do. So I'm going to say this, and you tell me how stupid I am. All of you. I would hope in this decision, and this is one of the things that I saw in the first game that I really like. People are on Zeke, and we're not going to get into a discussion about it, are on Zeke, didn't watch him. He was phenomenal in protection. And he's maybe the best running back the last 5 years in pass protection. And he didn't complain. It was a Jason Witten-like performance where you're not going to get anything today, Witt. Go block and help us. Now, Witt would complain in the locker room, and he'd whisper, "Man, that's bull."
And Zeke may be a better blocker than
I'm going to take it a step further. The linebackers, Jalen and Leighton, had very few snaps, not a peep out of them. So this team has the right stuff happening. Right. I would hope with the right tackle decision. And you tell me if you think I'm wrong. That Joe Philbin in the offensive line group, McCarthy was in there, and they threw it out for discussion. And maybe got Zach's feelings on moving to right tackle. And maybe the players had a say in it. Maybe that kind of stuff is happening on this team. You think I'm right or wrong?
No. Zach obviously doesn't want to move to right tackle. I think he made that pretty clear today. He would rather he wants to stay at right guard.
What did he say? He was, I'm open to whatever, but yeah.
I mean, he wants to stay at right guard. There's no doubting that. I mean, that's the position he's best at. He'd like to stay there.
Yeah.
The Terrence Steele thing factors in with me is because we've just been hearing for the last year and a half that Mike McCarthy loves to talk about when he was in Green Bay developing these young guys. Well, here's your chance to do it. It's that you're not doing this with Terrence Steele unless you think that, hey, somewhere down the line he could potentially be like a starter for us. And we're going to, it's going to be rough and there's going to be tough times. McCarthy's talked about this many a times, but there's going to be a payoff in the end. And so that's why if you're going to do that, and you're going to do it for 5 games, it makes sense to go with Terrence Steele over Ty Nsekhe because you're building not for just now, but for the future. One other thing to your point, though, earlier about the, hearing guys whispering in the locker room and stuff like that, we don't get nearly as much of that now because of the access. And when you have a bunch of, reporters going in the locker room after a game, there's the 10 minutes after the game and guys got a chance to cool down, but you can still get guys because of this thing. They're fired up. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we walk in that locker room after games and Cole Beasley, Terrence, Dez just fired up because of something they saw on Twitter and things like that really get you going. But because you're kind of at the, these are the 3 players we're getting, stuff like that, you don't get as much of the, oh, hey, when you leave locker room, hey, did you see Leighton over there? Yeah. That's not to say that they are. I'm just saying that we don't get as much access like that after games.
That's true, although I would say the only time we've ever heard Zeke complain about his role was in college. His last year at Ohio State was Michigan State.
They lost. And he was 100% correct.
That was the only time I've ever heard him publicly say anything about complaining about his role, and he wasn't even here yet.
Yeah.
About the Terrence Steele thing, and again, I think Zach Martin will do whatever the team needs to be done. I thought Jane Slater brought up a great point to Mike today in the press conference about how is there value in having your 6-time Pro Bowl guard in between a young center and a young right tackle, and the value in helping both those guys through the course of a game. So, and Mike did suggest there's more value in keeping him at right guard.
Sure, but there's also, if you have Zach at right tackle, then you got Connor McGovern out there. Like I kind of like the best 5.
I'm with you in the best 5 at the end of the day.
The thing that we in the media and all the fans are ignoring, and we love the fact that, put the best 5 offensive linemen out there, and Zach is Larry Allen, and he can move the tackle, and he can be a Pro Bowl right tackle. Zach does not want to play tackle.
Yeah, we said that.
I know, but I'm just saying that he does not want. But I don't think we.
But we're not talking about. I don't even care about that. I'm talking about if you have your best 5 out there, and even a Zach that might be okay at right tackle and doesn't really want to do it, sounds like a better option.
It does,
but
the problem is it's not being explored as an option, even though he's going to be out 5 games.
I'm going to
because
disagree
Zach
with Schroeder.
does not want to play right tackle.
Well,
that's what it is. It's not being explored because Zach does not want to play right tackle. Well, it's not McCarthy saying I want to do it. He's going to say the right things,
and he's earned that.
And Mike's going to say the right things about how it helps this guy and this guy if Zach is guard because that's what they have to do.
But he did it last year. He's not flat saying I will not
last year. But you got 5 games.
Well, this isn't an emergency?
I mean,
Joey Bosa seems like an emergency.
Joey Bosa pretty good now. I know you hate all them Buckeyes. But
again, this is not me talking. clearly it's not emergency enough to Dak for them to push that button again. Zach does not want to play, and they're going to kind of lean toward his feelings and accommodate what Zach wants.
Right,
until
week 3, this is a disaster.
Right, until it's a disaster, it's obvious you have to go that way. But Zach, that's not going to be the plan this weekend.
All right, well, if my memory serves, Steele was a rookie last year, correct?
Right.
And he also played
Undrafted
14 games last year?
Undrafted free agent.
All right. This is about team building, too. It's the right thing to do if you're building a team.
It's not about team building.
There's some codes involved here now.
You know what?
Let's move the superstar
You know what
over
it's
here.
about? It's about two things. And with all due respect, and Terrence Steele should be better. He should be better. But it's about Ty Nsekhe not being what they thought he was because they signed him to be the swing tackle. They signed him because they thought he was better with all the experience, better than Terrence Steele. And Josh Ball not being available to be, he's the guy that was drafted, with higher rating than Terrence Steele coming out of college. You would think that he could have done that too. It would have been an option there.
All right,
they're having to settle for, okay, yeah, Terrence Steele is better, he's improved, so this is what we're going with. That's not about team building.
All right, changing the subject, sort of, with a genius little transition here. If they would have taken Rashawn Slater in the draft instead of Micah, they may not have that problem.
And they might not have no defense.
Did you see that dude play last week?
Yeah, I know.
I did. Yeah, but I've also watched.
Did you watch his defense last year?
Last year? How about this defense for the last decade?
Well, I'm
like
just talking
they've been so short on playmakers. It's like, well, when are you going to address it?
Yes.
And to get real bona fide playmakers, you do it in the first round.
Absolutely.
Specifically in the top 15. Rashawn Slater, great. He's probably going to be fantastic. Maybe even goes to the Hall of Fame. That's fine.
It was just a transition.
But
it's fair because that's a matchup to watch.
It's not fair because number one, you know what's not fair? Khalil Collins should not be suspended. Because if La'el Collins takes care of business,
it's typical Cowboy stuff.
Seriously, if he takes care of business, he's on this team. But we're not belaboring the right tackle, and we're not having to. We're appreciating Rashawn Slater, and you're appreciating Michael Parsons. You're not talking about they should have got him because you got to hold the right tackle.
Yeah, that's a whole different discussion. I'm just saying it's fair to bring up Rashawn Slater because they're playing him this weekend. If you're asking me who they should have drafted, I'm on record as saying, if you watch the defense last year, give me a defensive player at 10 or 12. I don't care what position. If you think he can make an impact, sign me up. And that's what they did.
And we felt that way about Patrick Surtain and Chasey Horn, and they got a Swiss Army knife that can do a ton of different things, which I'm not saying that those corners wouldn't be great too, but for this particular defense, needing playmakers, to have a guy that can line up in all these different positions in the middle of your defense, Rashawn Slater might be great, but like eventually you have to do something to have playmakers on this defense, and they did that with that draft pick. I don't think that there should be any looking back. This isn't T.J. Watt versus Taco Charlton. This isn't Juan Thornhill versus Tristan Hill.
Oh, there's so many of them.
But,
every year.
Tristan Hill.
Tristan Hill?
He's a defensive tackle. He was on the field today. He was out there.
Where Kim Folk at?
Yeah.
Hey, Rashawn Slater, though. Now, I'm going to make a statement about these Chargers, and it could be the reason why I have Herbert and Keenan Allen on my fantasy team. I think the Chargers are going to the Super Bowl. Whoa. If not this year, next year.
Okay. You know what you're saying right now?
They're going to beat the Chiefs.
No, they're going to beat the Cowboys.
You saying 0-2?
You're basically saying the Cowboys are going to be 0-2. That's what you're saying. Just go and say it with your chest.
I said it last week.
Say it with the chest.
But I was wrong about that.
Say it with the chest.
I hope I'm wrong about this.
You already got them in the Super Bowl. Say it with the chest. They're going to beat the stew out the Cowboys Sunday.
This team with Lindsley now their center. Lindsley now their center, who is a stud.
Yeah.
He's a Buckeye. And Slater, who he held off Chase Young like he was meatloaf. In his first game. That may be the best edge rusher in the league. Mm-hmm. And he never got by him.
I like Taco.
And now you're telling me DeMarcus Lawrence has a toe? And they got no pressure on Brady? They get no pressure on Herbert. Dak better go for 600.
And he might.
Now, Diggs on Keenan Allen is intriguing.
Who's going to protect Dak?
But Anthony Brown on Mike Williams?
There's some size being given up there in that matchup, for sure.
Well, the good news is they won't run by him.
True.
They will make contested catches, but I don't think they're going to run by him. Maybe they do have that.
They got Guyton.
They got Guyton, our boy Guyton, North Texas, Allen's own.
He played well.
He can run.
Mike Williams played well, too.
Yeah, but Mike Williams not going to run by him, I don't think. But
That's
Guyton
a
will.
Sticky Washington defense. We all agree, right?
Up front, not in the secondary.
And I really enjoyed watching that game because Herbert was very patient, very smart. ridiculously accurate. He only made 2 bad throws the whole game.
Yeah.
And they really fought hard to get that win. And his stats were pretty decent.
And they did on the road?
Did it on the road.
And they kind of played a different – like Clarence made a point about Herbert will go down the – I mean, he'll rip the ball, but they did a lot of not check down stuff, but a lot of getting the ball out quickly because of how good that Washington
what you got to do?
Defense is. I'm just saying, he showed he can do a little bit of everything in that opener. But, if he's got time Sunday,
Well, the good news, and I would say the good news is on the Cowboys side on how to stop Herbert, and I'm sure we're going to get to Zeke at some point. They gave up 126 yards rushing to Washington.
4.7 a carry, right?
Washington does not have the running game that the Cowboys have, even though it didn't show last week. You would think so Zeke, there should be a steady dose of running game to help keep Herbert off the field.
Yeah, but I don't buy it. They got too many. Derwin James, the Murray kid in the middle. I don't buy it.
What about you? Don't buy what?
I don't buy that stat. Washington had nothing else because Fitzpatrick was terrible, and
they were still in the game though. It wasn't like they were. It was 2016. It wasn't a blowout.
I don't think this Chargers defense is built to where teams are going to be able to run at will on them. That kid in the middle is really good.
They gave up 126 yards to Washington.
Okay,
Kenneth Murray.
I mean, they did do that.
Kenneth Murray.
Yeah.
They gave it was a good winning plan. I mean, they gave 126 yards. They were winning. They took the lead at some point during the game. So
I love this for the Cowboys. Now, you don't want to start 0-2 because then everybody's going to spend all week on the numbers when you go 0-2 and how you don't make the play, blah, blah, blah. But these 2 road games to start the season, to me, is as good as it gets in terms of jumping into the season. You may start 0-2. But if the Cowboys play like they played in week 1 and lose by a point, they're going to beat up some teams in a row.
Who?
After these 2.
They're in a division where you're never out of it.
That's right.
I don't think so.
Okay. Listen to me.
Who? Eagles.
Eagles look good.
Giants.
The Eagles are
Redskins.
Listen, all I know is if they go 0-2,
they're dead. They're done.
All hell's going to break loose.
Well, sure. That's part of the fun.
That Eagles game was on Monday night. All the TV, the whole world will be descending on the 0-2 Cowboys team. And if they lose to the Eagles, the earth is going to open up. It's going to be crazy around here if they start this season 0-3.
Who do the Eagles play this week?
San Francisco.
You're not wrong about that. I don't think that's going to happen. But you're not wrong about that.
What I'm saying is you don't want it to happen. And so it's important you win this game because I thought the Eagles were the worst team in the division before the season. They were pretty impressive. I know it was Atlanta, but they did what they put a foot in Atlanta. They did what they're supposed to do.
Kalishaw.
They certainly look better than the Giants.
Kalishaw got so tired of me the 2 weeks before the draft because I said if the Cowboys get a chance to take Jalen Hurts in the second round, take him. It gives them an option with pending business,
the contract stuff.
Yeah, and this kid, I'm telling you, something's happening in this league. Kevin Murray's making it look easy. Dak Prescott's
Kevin Murray.
Kevin Murray.
That's the dad.
Kyler.
That's the dad.
Yeah, Kyler Murray.
Gigamaggies. Yeah.
Kyler Murray's making it look easy. Hurts is making it look easy. Dak's making it look easy. It isn't this easy. And they're making it look it's like video games.
Can I reset something? I got a message from the boss 952 or somebody like that.
Oh.
It's the Washington football team.
Who said Redskins?
I think I may have said the R word. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm keeping another point against Clarence. Man, you are getting your ass kicked over here. All right, coming up next, we call it Cheers, Jeers, and Fears. So think about who you want to give cheers to. This is one player out of week 1. Who you want to boo out of week 1, and what scares you the most going to week 2. Cheers, Jeers, and Fears next on Media Mash.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay, no surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Back to Media Mash.
Oh, we're back on Media Mash. We've got Rob Phillips. You read him every day on DallasCowboys.com. He does other things for Cowboys media. He's spectacular. You got John Machota over here with The Athletic. You got a podcast too, don't you, Machota?
About them boys.
Yeah. When's that? When? Just get it wherever you can get it? Is that kind of what you say about podcasts?
Yeah, I mean, it's on all the, Apple and all that. Yeah, About Them Cowboys. We do it once a week.
Okay.
Actually, 2 now that the season's going on. We
You
do
read
one after.
Machota, and this is Clarence E. Hill Jr., who, by the way, is the longest-running beat writer in town.
I don't know
for
about
any
that.
sport.
That means I'm old.
I don't know about
Battle
that.
tested.
For any sport.
Consecutively tenured.
Yeah, consecutive.
Yes.
He's with us, and we're happy. Tomorrow we got Jane Slater joining us from the NFL Network, along with Chill and Nick Eatman. We're going to rotate a little bit here on Media Mash. Every Wednesday and Thursday from 4 to 5, we're going to have fun discussing stuff that matters with the Dallas Cowboys. And my name is Steve. Next, Rookie. Get ready, because Rookie has some elements here that he's going to throw in. I don't know if they make sense. But cheers, jeers, and fears. Cheers, jeers, and fears. Clarence, what you're doing here is picking one Cowboy that you want to tip the cap to coming out of week 1. And then after that, we're going to get to one that you want to jump on coming out of week 1. And then what fears you most going into week 2. All right, give us the sounder for cheers, Rookie. There it is.
That's easy.
It's cheers. And by the way, I got to explain this real quick. I was a rookie covering the Cowboys in 1998. I came the year after you, right, Chill? Were you 97? And everybody called me rookie, which was fine. But I was looking for the next rookie in 99. And here he came. Young kid, fast. He could run. Not Clarence fast, but fast. His name was Chris Beam, and he was brand new with the Dallas Cowboys media. So I started calling him Rookie. And I didn't know his first name for 6 years. He's always been Rookie to me. He's made a life of bringing content to you Cowboys fans, as so many have here spectacularly. Scott Purcell and Roxanne Medina and Kevin Timmons. And, I mean, I can go on and on. Mickey Spagnola. But that's why I call him Rookie. He's about 70 now, but he's still...
he's got some gray.
He's still Rookie to me. All right, here we go. Cheers. Rob Phillips, you get to go first. Who gets your tip of the cap this week?
I covered Dak already. I'll go with Trayvon Diggs, okay? I know defensively it wasn't a great performance. They're still getting better. They're still ascending. I think they're going to be a better defense as they go along. Trayvon Diggs was asked to shadow Mike Evans, Texas Aggie, former Texas Aggie. Did a fine job. And that's something we haven't seen a Cowboys corner do a lot for basically an entire game. Might have to do it again this week. Be interesting to see. But I thought he took a step forward, also getting a pick in his first game of his season.
No offense to the Aggies. I love the Aggies, but Keenan Allen is a notch above Mike Evans. Evans is slowing down a little bit.
Keenan Allen,
he's a great red zone guy.
He's been a red zone guy for a couple of years. He makes his money in the end zone, so yeah.
Just a quick comment.
Keenan Allen's a top 5 receiver in this league, probably.
Great
top 5 route runner.
Him and Calvin Ridley are the 2 best route runners, in my opinion, in the league.
Amari Cooper begs a different. And speaking of that,
Amari's up there, but he's not as good as those 2. But go ahead, Chill.
Speaking of that,
cheers.
My cheers blocker, I want to give it to Zeke because I don't think Zeke's attitude and what he did as a blocker gets enough credit. Especially as I watch other games this weekend and in the way the running backs. You go back to that Monday night game with a great game between the Raiders and the Ravens, and that last sack. Watch the running back for the Ravens just not even getting away of the Nassib as he crushed the quarterback and caused the fumble to set up the final touchdown. But it has to go with Amari Cooper. There's been so much talk about CD passing Cooper and CD, going to be the number one receiver.
And he still might.
Okay.
So you're doing
There's
double
1 out of 17
cheers. You're
played.
breaking the rules. You're going Zeke and Amari.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Zeke and Amari.
Yeah,
But I was making a nice segue to say that Amari Cooper, man, he just showed you he is the guy. He is still the guy.
So John, you get 3 picks here.
I was gonna say he just knocked out 4 of mine. No,
You did.
I'm gonna go with I'll go with Connor McGovern just because short notice.
Yeah.
Zach's not gonna go. Go out there and go block Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea, and I mean for the most part he looked like he played pretty well in that game. And obviously not to the level he didn't stand out like Dak did or Amari Cooper did, or Trayvon Diggs obviously has to go in too.
How did Basham play?
What are we doing this?
Not bad.
Well, since you brought up
I'm sorry.
How did Biotish do?
I mean Biotish. How did Biotish? I was trying to get one of those B guys. How did Biotish do?
And I just said, are we doing this?
Yeah, we doing it.
You know what that means. He didn't do as well as Connor McGovern or Lyle Collins or Zach. Zach didn't play. Or Connor Williams or Tyron Smith. He was their 5th best offensive lineman. Biotish was their 5th best.
All right, so Connor McGovern gets your cheers.
Yeah,
that's a good call. All right, mine's Diggs as well. So I'm going to do my jeers first because they go hand in hand. I don't want to wait until you guys all name before I get a shot this time, even though we're all co-host, all 4 of us. Diggs, to me, very, very impressive. The last episode of Hard Knocks, when he is going at it with Amari Cooper, I mean, there is tremendous hope that this guy is everything that everybody thought he would be.
Like a shutdown corner.
A shutdown corner who is not afraid of a challenge no matter who it is, and after week 1 against a good receiver in Mike Evans, passes the challenge. Now he's going to have his work cut out for him if he travels with Keenan Allen, which is a little different. But my jeer, the other side, Anthony Brown. They're looking to replace him. They don't want him to be their starting corner, no matter what they say. We all know that.
Well, that's because Kelvin Joseph didn't show up in camp.
Well, and he'll be back in the mix soon. But Anthony Brown is not a starting corner in this league. They know it. They've made that clear. And he it wasn't just the 47-yard touchdown. AB just toyed with him. He had a 16-yarder. He had a 14-yarder.
It is AB.
AB on AB just didn't go well. And that, if you're going to be excited about Diggs as a shutdown corner, you got to bring up the other side, and that looks spooky. Mike Williams may get 22 targets in this game. There.
Yeah.
Cheers. Who's next?
I agree with you. I don't think there's anybody else on the same level as Anthony Brown. I have to agree with you on that. And, Dan Quinn said the other day that on the deep ball to Antonio Brown, he explained how there was supposed to be. He played the correct coverage. He was supposed to have safety help over the top. But when Jordan Lewis tripped, DeMonte KZ had to come up. And then it's crazy when you see the all-22 how fast Tom Brady just processes exactly what's going on. Boom, I'm throwing the deep ball to Antonio Brown. But
so KZ decided to cover the underneath route rather than the deep ball.
Yeah, and he did it very quickly too. He made the decision very quickly. KZ did, but AB was still 4 yards past.
I guess my point
AB.
is if I'm going to get cut, I'm going to get cut short than deep. As a safety, you got to know that I can't lead a guy deep open. That's all I'm saying. You got to make a better decision because you're giving up a touchdown over a short pass.
Yeah.
Right. So, but with Anthony Brown, I wouldn't say that he's not a starter in this league. I think he could be a number 3 guy.
And he may be a good slot guy. He's a pretty good slot guy.
Right. And if you had more pass rush, not having any pass rush against the greatest of all time obviously makes him look very poor in that game. But when you watch that entire game, watch it a third time, I just don't know how there's anybody else on the roster that would, for the categories that you've put out, Steve, that fits in that category.
And to be fair, that was a unique matchup too, because he's their number 2 corner going against a number 1 wide receiver. I mean, that's a receiving core that I don't know. Maybe the Cowboys can match that.
They're all
but my point is,
and by the way, Anthony Brown will fight and fight and fight. If we're going to talk about the talent level that Diggs brings, he just doesn't bring that kind of talent level. But he'll fight and scrap and play hard. He's shown that. I wanted to throw that in. I'm not completely
there's no question,
and
he would have been my Jeer too, just because it's obvious.
Rob.
Okay. So
no, hold it. My bad.
Steve went with an obvious choice.
Actually, there is another one.
I'm pulling one back.
Yeah, there is.
Blake Jarwin.
Oh, actually, I was going to say somebody else.
Blake Jarwin. You got to make that block.
We just talked to him today. Greg Zerline is in there.
Oh yeah, Greg Zerline. Yes, that's obvious. That's the obvious choice.
He can come in here right now and he'll tell you that. I mean,
that's the obvious choice. I'm sorry.
I'll give him props.
Those are kickers, though, man.
It doesn't matter. He missed a 31-yarder.
And he missed an extra point.
Yes, and the extra point was probably longer than a 31-yarder.
And that's 60. Oh no, sorry.
He's got a quad injury.
And then he didn't kick it in the end zone.
He's got a broken back.
Stop it.
He's not on the injury report. He says
Can anybody pronounce the new kicker's name?
He's on the practice squad. We don't need to right now.
Oh,
Liram Hiralahu.
Oh, look at
Hiralahu.
Look at Rob.
Hiralahu.
Woo!
Sounds good.
Big points.
I'm going to go with that.
Blake Jarwin has to make that block.
I'm going to call
You
him
have to get in front of somebody. You have to touch him. You have to feel the guy. Breathe on him. Can you breathe on him?
You're breathing on me right now.
He didn't. We got a window here.
Through the plexiglass. Damn.
Can you breathe on a guy? He didn't even breathe on him.
I would prefer not to breathe on a guy.
No, I'm talking about football. You have to. Can you breathe? If you're not going to touch him, at least breathe on him. Make him feel your hot breath. Maybe Zeke can make a play off of that.
Since you brought up Jarwin, hey,
feel your hot breath. Breathe on him.
Why isn't Dalton Schultz their top tight end?
Okay,
but the guy was phenomenal last year.
Because he's not the vertical threat that Jarwin is. He's not a better receiver than Jarwin.
So we may see Jarwin for 26 yards once every third game, and Schultz could catch it 16 times if they let him. He did that a couple games last year.
Didn't he get? I'm pretty sure Schultz got more targets.
He got six catches for 40-some.
In game one?
I think he was 6 for 6.
Yeah.
I mean, Schultz was a big part of the game plan. The problem is that at the goal line, you're not asking him to be Mark Vivaro, okay?
Right.
You're just asking him to get in front of the guy.
Right.
Because everybody, why is he out there if he can't? I mean, you're not asking him to roll grade him.
Okay, you hush him in
to hear that today.
Rob, you're Jeer.
Zerline. I mean, I'm not booing Greg Zerline, but John's right. I mean, he said it after the game. If I do my job, we win the game.
Boo him. Why are you not booing him?
Because I'm not. That's not my job to boo a play.
I was actually impressed with him today.
I mean, you brought up the word boo, so I'm just saying. I mean, he deserves.
Well, we were going to play boos. Hey, rookie,
you brought up the word boo.
Play what you found for the Jeer sound.
It's not good.
It's terrible.
How we doing, guys?
Oh, wow.
What'd he say?
Speaking of Jason Garrett, boy,
how we doing, guys?
Somebody run him down this week.
What happened?
Some columnist in New York.
Oh boy,
all over.
He gets some jeers in New York.
Yeah,
that offense.
His offense is a throwback to it. It hit. No, I can't remember what he wrote. Let's get to
how we doing, guys.
Let's get rid of let's get to fears. We're going to let Machota go first this time. Game 2's coming. They're 0-1. It was a vision victory. I'm telling you, vision victory. We'll see what happens in L.A. It's going to be another tough one. What scares you most?
Oh, it's right tackle. It's not even close. I mean, even if they were playing against a team that didn't have Joey Bosa, that would be my biggest concern. And I don't know. And if you're a fan of the Cowboys, you cover the Cowboys. If you know anything about the Cowboys over the last 5 or 6 years, like you just think of that Chaz Green game in Atlanta and just how bad that can be.
How we doing, guys? That's when you needed to drop that.
And so you have that in the back of your mind. And it's like if Terrence Steele isn't working.
Chaz is going, not well.
if Terrence Steele isn't working out well, like how quick do you turn to your alternative? And what if that alternative doesn't work? And how much are you changing up your game plan? Obviously, we know that Zeke can step in there and pick up blitzes, and he did a phenomenal job of that against Tampa, but that's not a great game plan. And again, like you don't want to see. I mean, Dak took a couple of shots in that game that you really don't want to see, mainly some from Ndamukong Suh. You definitely don't want to see Joey Bosa landing some of those on him as well. So even if Terrence Steele doesn't play well, have a better game plan than that Chaz Green game where it was like, well, we're just gonna We're just going to leave him on an island.
I do think this coaching staff is going to be able to adjust better than that Jason Garrett.
Right, but I just feel like that's so fresh in our mind that we're just
they're going to give.
They didn't adjust at all.
I mean, that's my point.
Yeah.
But as Jerry
Jerry
so eloquently said on the radio, we're going to give him some help.
Lots of help.
We're going to give him lots of help. Jerry already announced. He already announced the game plan. We're going to give him some help. We're going to start Chaz Green. We're going to start Terrence Steele and give him some help.
Jerry's staying up late at night with his glasses on the end of his nose.
I feel very confident. I feel very confident, and I think I still have the transcript. I'll go back and look, but I remember him saying something very similar on the radio the week leading up to that Falcons game about Chaz Green. There was talk that they were going to give him help too. There was. It wasn't like, oh no, he's fine. Next man up, same job. They said they were going to help him too, and then they didn't.
Number one, we didn't know Adrian Claiborne was Joey Bosa, okay, at the time.
Yeah, and he wasn't before, and he hasn't been since.
No, he got a hell of a contract
because of that one game.
He did.
But now we know Joey Bosa's on the other side, so I think they're going to follow him and give him some help.
Well, the problem you have with either one of the Bosas, and I speak from experience, they never quit. Yeah. They are so relentless. Are
they vaccinated?
Their motor just goes and goes. So Terrence Steele is going to be so tired. He is going to be out of breath and tired because Bosa will keep going.
But that goes back to Chill's point. That's why they got to be able to run the ball.
How about if Zeke plays right tackle? He's pretty good in protection.
Listen.
All right, let's go to your jeers. Your fears.
My fears. And I'm going to give my boy Bobby Belt credit for this.
That's fair.
I'm going to give him credit because he tweeted that since the 49ers, since the Tampa Bay game, the Cowboys have lost 3 starters and a coach. Randy Gregory.
Oh, Leon Lett today.
Leon Lett. Collins.
If you don't know, Leon Lett went out of practice today.
And now DeMarcus Lawrence. My fear is 0-2. My biggest fear is 0-2 for the Cowboys. 0-2.
That's not my fear. I said last week that it was a given.
Well, I said that before.
So I can't be afraid of it.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
They have to recover from it and get going is what they're going to do.
But what I'm saying is, immediately after that game, because before the season I picked 0-2, okay? But immediately after that game, after we saw the Cowboys play, and we were talking about moral victories and what we liked about Dak and why the vision. Oh, this team is pretty good. This team might, because I thought they would be rusty. They would take them a while to get going, but Dak's not rusty. This team they're gonna beat the Chargers.
They can strike like a snake.
They can beat the Chargers, but now after the game, and now you don't have. I mean, I'm thinking you got Collins. You're gonna have Martin back. Your defense is gonna grow and get better. Now you're going into the game without your 2 best pass rushers.
Oh yeah.
Without your right tackle.
And now you're thinking 90 could be iffy.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you already said him. Yeah. Lyell's like a throwback. Remember when they had somebody suspended in the preseason like 5 straight years? Mm-hmm. That was some of Gregory's work. Skandrick.
Oh yeah.
DeMarcus. And then they had a couple of years where it didn't happen, and now Lyell's throwing back.
It's a weird situation. You guys already said it. I mean, it's the distinct possibility, possibly, that you're not going to have Lawrence or Gregory. And Gregory, like Mike said, it's going to take a while probably to come back from the COVID deal. That's usually how it works. You said it. Justin Herbert, if he has time. I don't know if they didn't trust their protection week 1, but they got the ball out quick. If he's got time to rip it down the field,
forget it.
There's going to be some challenges on Sunday. So, and Dorrance Armstrong is coming along as a pass rusher. He should have gotten a strip fumble sack on Tom Brady the other night, but that's going to be a challenge. And Clarence is right. I mean, 0-2, if you stare that in the face, remember 2011 when they went out on the West Coast to an improving San Francisco team, and Romo gets a punctured lung and all that stuff, and they found a way to win that game. They knew the importance.
That was the Jesse Holley game.
That was the Jesse Holley game.
The great Jesse Holley.
They knew what the consequences were potentially if you go 0-2. You do not want that, even if in a winnable division.
Well, sometimes you don't have a choice when the other team decides they kind of want to win.
Can I give one quick positive because I feel like we're being real negative here about the Cowboys.
I don't feel
fears. It's the segment is fears.
Hey, we're just.
I feel like the entire show though.
We're just smashing it up.
The segment is fears.
One positive though. This is going to be a Cowboys home game. And let me just explain why this is going to be this way.
Fair.
I brought up one of my good friends here on my phone. It's called StubHub. $192 is the cheapest ticket for that game. Okay. So you think that's because there's a lot of Chargers fans barely exist as it is. $192 for Cowboys. Okay. When they play the Browns, $79. Ravens, $55. Patriots, $80. 68. The only other game that's close to that is the Steelers is $200. That's because it's all the fans of the other team that are going to that game. That place is going to be all Cowboys fans.
Well, okay, y'all went to the game last week. I didn't.
It was decent.
Audibly heard it. Let's go Cowboys.
No, there definitely was, but
on banner night.
And if the Bucs weren't coming off of a Super Bowl win and stuff, it would have been a lot more. But this Chargers game in LA,
they've had trouble filling that stadium.
Right.
And by the way,
they had trouble filling the soccer stadium.
Hey, Clarence, that's another point against you because that was next level reporting by Machota right there. Next level reporting. My fear is the
breaking news: the Cowboys will have more fans than the Chargers in LA.
Yes.
My fear.
No one saw that.
I was on SeatGeek.
You were on SeatGeek.
I stand corrected.
Oh, you're a SeatGeek.
Yeah. What are you guys with? SeatGeek. SeatGeek.
Dang.
There goes that sponsor.
Sorry. I read it wrong.
The defensive line is going to be my fear all season. Now, you're right. If DeMarcus and Gregory don't play, and by the way, do I need to mention again what Slater did to Chase Young last week? They're not going to touch this quarterback.
Blitz.
And they don't get a hand on Brady. Now, he held on to a ball that Dorrance almost
got there.
Should have got the strip sack, and somehow Brady, I don't know what he did. He was a magician with the ball.
He did that Aaron Rodgers against Jeff Heath.
But they're just different.
I still don't know how Jeff Heath didn't get that ball out. Going back to their game.
We got to wrap this up, but let me just make this point.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
We keep hearing about how the defensive line is getting better and it's going to be fine. If they don't get pressure on these quarterbacks all year, the defense won't hold up. I don't care how good Micah is or Diggs.
Well, Micah got to get to the quarterback. That's one of his jobs.
That's
Rush.
One of his jobs.
Rush. What did Jerry say after the draft? Rush.
He may be the hope.
And he probably is. He did. I mean, I thought he did pressure pretty well. It just he was going against the GOAT, and he gets the ball out faster than anybody does.
This is not the GOAT.
All right. This will
Clarence
conclude.
and Sanders are here. They're up here. He's up here for this team.
And you got your arm way up.
Yeah. Yes.
Way up.
That's not my standards up here, but
no.
The goal is to win. The goal is to do what it takes to win. We're not giving credit. We're not giving credit for getting close.
Hey, there's 17 games this year, buddy. Have you factored that in? They got a little more time.
Chill's covered a lot of Super Bowl teams.
The Cowboys have been on 2-4. The Cowboys have been on 2-4 times.
All right, you guys want to stay and just keep going, or can I say goodbye?
Hold on, finish this.
They've only made the playoffs once.
Okay, well.
And that was 93 when they had the triplets.
Who?
The Cowboys.
They've only done what now?
Been on 2-4 times.
Oh.
The only time they've been to the playoffs was in 93.
You're saying it's challenging.
With the triplets.
The NFC
Emmett was on the bench. When Emmett was on the bench because he was holding out.
0-2 doesn't scare me a bit. In fact, when I saw these two road games, I figured they'd be 0-2, and that's okay. So if I were a Cowboys fan, I'd get my mind around it. And if they manage to win, all the better. All right. Hey, guys, thanks for letting me talk Cowboys with you.
Is it over?
We're going to do it again tomorrow. Clarence joins Jane Slater and Nick Eatman, and it'll be 4 to 5 again tomorrow. I want to thank Chris Beam, rookie, as always, for what he does. You guys keep doing what you're doing on the beat, and we'll see everybody tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Have a good Wednesday night.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!